In 2023, we saw all the naysayers and all the doomsday prophets line up at every street corner, and they were yelling, "The end is near, the housing market, it's going to explode." But here we are, we're rounding out the year, and it turns out the market, well, it only took a hit and it's still standing here. In this video, I'm going to cover what you can expect in 2024, and make sure you stay around to the end, because I think you're going to be shocked. Let's go ahead and get started. My name is Ben Geanetta. I'm a real estate professional and team leader of Elite Realty Partners right here in North Idaho. And if you're planning to make a move to the area and you want to learn everything that there is about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good, the bad, the ugly of Sandpoint, then make sure you subscribe down below and smash that bell icon. You can also find a link to my calendar in the description below. That way you can schedule a one-on-one meeting with me to discuss this video or any other thing that's related to North Idaho. Now, let's jump into the future and talk about the housing market for 2024. If you don't know who Jerome Powell is, well, he's been serving as chair of the Federal Reserve System since 2018. His role as chair involves overseeing the U.S. Central Bank and plays a key role in influencing the country's economical policies and financial stability. And recently, in mid-December of 2023, Jerome said that the Fed key rate is at or near its peak. And if you're not paying attention whatsoever in 2023, the Feds were hiking the rates all year round. So you can only imagine, after this conference ended, how the market responded. And well, it responded fairly quickly. The 10-year Treasury yield dropped 4%. Almost as quickly as the rates jumped up, they started to retreat. So mortgage rates, they were right around 8.5%, maybe high 8% range. And they dropped 1.5% to just under 7% for the first time since August of 2023. So what happened in the past few months, or at the end of 2023, for the Feds to reverse the course? Well, first, inflation. It had cooled off for the third consecutive month, and that trend should continue. And there's a lot of supporting evidence to support that. And I'm talking about CPI reports. Now remember, these CPI reports, they are a rolling calendar year, and we're about to replace January 2023 and February 2023 numbers. And they were high, and they're getting replaced with lower numbers. And that is eventually going to help contribute to mortgage rates dropping even more. I'm not sure if you heard by now, but for every 1% drop in mortgage rates, about 5 million buyers are going to re-enter the market. And I'm not a fool. I don't think that all 5 million people are going to re-enter the housing market, but it's still going to be a significant number. Those additional buyers coming off the sidelines and re-entering the housing market, it's going to add competition to a housing market where inventory is already very low, historically low. So as rates drop and more buyers enter the market, with low housing inventory, that means prices are going to increase. It just does. But we're not going to see the return of the crazy days of appreciation from 2020, 2021 because of affordability. We saw that happen, the crazy appreciation during those 2 years, because of rapid growth in home values being pushed by COVID and people mass exiting some states and moving to smaller areas. And that pushed affordability across the country to its limit. And that contributed to the housing correction that we all witnessed in part of 2022 and all of 2023. To see that crazy appreciation again, I'm talking 20, 30, 40% year over year, I believe mortgage rates would need to come down and come down to a very low level again. And I just don't see that happening, because the rates, they're gonna have to be in the low 4s to maybe high 3% range. And I don't think the Feds are gonna push it that far. So that means affordability is still going to be something that we need to contend with, meaning that prices, they're not going to crash, but instead they're going to rise up. It's simple, really. In any market, when there is low inventory and high demand, prices are going to go up. Now the opposite is true. If you have lots of inventory and little demand, prices are going to fall. And here lies the issue. Inventory is still so low, and the vast majority of homeowners have a ton of equity in their homes, or they just own their homes outright. So if you're planning on waiting around for an influx of inventory, it's just silly. Low inventory is going to be headlining 2024 as it has been in the past several years. Now let's bring this conversation back home to North Idaho. With mortgage rates dropping, many buyers are recognizing that this is a great time to buy right now and the window is starting to shut. Because buying a house, the home prices, they're only going to start climbing. And they rather buy a house that they love, even with these higher mortgage rates, because there's going to be less competition right now. And they just plan on refinancing lower to a lower rate. And that is a sound strategy. Buy now, less competition, higher rates, refinance when the mortgage rates drop. Now, these are the words of buyers that my team and I are working with. These are not my words. These are what buyers are actively telling me and my team. But I do agree with them. Now, please understand, before you tar and feather me, I'm not saying go out and buy a house just for the sake of buying a house. That would just be insane. You should buy a house if it's the right time in your life, if it's a home that you love, and of course, if you can afford it with these higher mortgage rates. To put it simpler, look at the big picture and don't limit yourself if you have the means, the ability, and if it's the right house. And of course, one that you love. Excluding December, we're rounding out 2023 here in North Idaho with sellers netting on a rolling 12-month average 97% of their asking price, and that is down 1% year over year. There have been 3,522 homes that have sold in 2023, which is down 15% year over year. And the average sell price of those homes, $683,534, and that is down a staggering 0.4% year over year. And there has been a total of 6,173 new listings, and that is down 5.9% year over year. So what do these numbers tell me exactly? They're telling the story that what we've been talking about, that there's fewer homes for sale. And with affordability at an all-time low, prices in North Idaho went from $686,317,000 to $683,534, or just a tick below $3,000 year over year. With affordability easing in 2024 due to mortgage rates coming down and no signs of inventory improving, prices will be climbing. Make sure that you hire a real estate professional like me who will sit down with you, will explain to you what the market is doing, and will listen to your goals, your needs, and your preferences. You want an agent that's going to tailor a winning strategy with you and has a supporting staff to help you win the house that you love. Buying a house is more than just waking up one morning and saying, well, geez, I'm gonna buy a house today. To have the best experience, to get the house that you love at a price that's going to work for you, it takes planning with a professional like me to help guide you through the process and connect you with the best professionals. If you're looking to buy a house in 2024, and if you want to discuss the buying process in North Idaho with me, go ahead and schedule a time in my calendar link below. Also, make sure you leave me a comment below. I want to know if you agree with me on where home prices are headed, or if you think I'm just talking crazy. I want to hear it all.